One of America's most well-known reality TV families was rocked by scandal. A name once associated with faith, discipline, and a picture-perfect life became synonymous with secrecy and disturbing revelations. Now, nearly a decade later, the Duggar name is back in headlines. But this time, it's not about Josh Duggar. It's about his brother, Joseph Duggar, a man who, until now, stayed largely out of controversy. A man accused of something deeply troubling involving a child. And what makes this case even more unsettling is that it allegedly happened years ago, hidden in silence, until now. For years, the Duggar family represented a very specific version of American life. They rose to fame through the TLC show, 19 Kids and Counting, a large, conservative Christian family, 19 children, strict rules, clear values. Their lives were structured around faith, modesty, and discipline. To millions watching, they were wholesome, organized, God-fearing. But beneath that carefully curated image, there were cracks. And in 2015, those cracks shattered completely. In 2015, reports surfaced that Josh Duggar had, as a teenager, engaged in inappropriate behavior involving minors. Among the victims were members of his own family. The revelations were shocking. The show was canceled. The Duggar brand, once untouchable, collapsed almost overnight. But the story didn't end there. Years later, Josh would face even more serious charges. In 2021, he was arrested. And in 2022, he was sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison. For many, that seemed like the end of the Duggar controversies. But it wasn't. For years, Joseph Duggar remained in the background. He wasn't the center of attention. He wasn't involved in public scandals. He lived a quieter life compared to his older brother. But in March 2026, everything changed. Authorities in Florida made an announcement. Joseph Duggar had been charged, not for something recent, but for something that allegedly happened in 2020, during what was supposed to be a simple family vacation. According to the Bay County Sheriff's Office, the incident took place in Panama City Beach, a popular vacation spot, a place associated with relaxation, family time, and escape. The victim was a 9-year-old girl. She was there with her family. What followed, according to investigators, unfolded gradually. Authorities say Joseph allegedly asked the child to sit on his lap. Later asked her to sit beside him on a couch, covered them with a blanket. It was during these moments, investigators claim, that inappropriate contact occurred. The report indicates physical contact that crossed boundaries, behavior that made the child uncomfortable. At the time, the incidents reportedly stopped after an apology. But what's important to understand is this. In many cases involving minors, silence doesn't mean the absence of harm. It often means fear, confusion, or uncertainty. For years, the incident remained undisclosed. The child grew older. Life moved on. But experiences like this don't simply disappear. Eventually, the now teenager participated in a forensic interview. That's when the details came to light. And once they did, everything changed. According to reports, the victim's father confronted Joseph Duggar. This moment is critical in the timeline, because investigators say Joseph allegedly admitted to his actions, not in a courtroom, not under arrest, but during a direct confrontation. Additionally, authorities say he also spoke with detectives in Town. These alleged admissions played a major role in building the case. On March 18, 2026, Joseph Duggar was taken into custody. He was booked in Washington County. The charges include lewd and lascivious molestation of a child under 12, lewd behavior by an adult. Authorities confirmed he is awaiting extradition to Florida. As of now, there is no confirmed timeline for when that will happen, but the legal process has begun. This case doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a larger narrative, a family that once symbolized moral structure, now repeatedly linked to serious allegations. For the public, it raises difficult questions. Was the image ever real? Were there warning signs? Or is this a case of individual actions within a large family? The Duggar name carries weight. And with each new headline, that weight grows heavier. Reactions to the news have been swift. Some express shock. Others say they're not surprised. Online discussions highlight concern for the victim, frustration with repeated scandals, questions about accountability. But beyond public opinion, there is one central truth. A case like this is about the victim first, always. Joseph Duggar is now facing serious charges. And like all criminal cases, the legal process will determine the outcome. Key steps ahead include extradition to Florida, formal court proceedings, possible trial or plea. Until then, he remains in custody, and the case continues to develop. The Duggar story is no longer just about reality television. It's about accountability. It's about truth. And it's about the voices that take years to be heard. Cases like this remind us of something important. Sometimes, the most disturbing truths don't come out immediately. They wait. They linger. And, eventually, they surface. This is Unveiled Truth, crime tales, where the stories you don't hear are the ones you need to remember. If this story stayed with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.